Okay, welcome to another video by Antiques Arena. My name's Walter O'Neill. I'm a UK reseller. I buy and sell antiques and flip them for a profit. Now, today I've been asked by one of my followers or subscribers if I would help them to be able to identify the difference between prints and lithographs on porcelain and ceramics and painting. So today I've got quite a few tips to help you just for that. So I've prepared quite a few little short pictures and things that are going to give you all the tips you need to be able to identify the difference between a painting and a print. So if you stick around, you'll find out just how easy it is. So we're going to start off with a typical Victorian transfer printed plate. Now, you look at that plate and you're thinking, well, how can you tell that's transfer printed? Now, there's a few ways of telling just by looking at it. And one of the ways is on plates and things, they never manage to tie the pattern up together. So when they start one end, there's always a join, or when it's a complicated pattern like this. So if you look here, I have pointed out three little mistakes where they've used three. There's probably more, but they've used a minimum of three pieces to do the border. Now, if I zoom in, well, I'll show you a close-up of each of them now in just a moment. But if you look here, you can see on all the arrows where the pattern doesn't actually follow through correct. Okay, so if you look here, you can see running down, it just doesn't line up at all. So you can see there, they've tried overlapping the print and it just hasn't lined up. Same again here. They've come across and they haven't followed the print on correctly for the pattern. They've just finished the pattern and cut it down. And you can see again here where nothing lines up and the pattern just doesn't finish right. So visually you can tell straight away without even any experience, just to look at it, you can see that they're not right. So that's your first thing, is visual inspection. You look at the entire piece and you look for, if it's a circle, things like that, or a big pattern, look for overlaps that are just not right on the picture. If you use a jeweler's eyeglass, as you see here, I'm holding one there. Now, I've actually put my phone to it rather than my eye so you can get a close-up view. But if you actually use a jeweler's eyeglass, go to a dense area, possibly an infill or something like that, anywhere there's shading, and you will see this. These are dots. So many dots per square inch. Now, that is a Victorian plate, and yet they still had this dots. You get it with prints and lithographs. You can clearly see the dots. And if you get yourself one of those eyeglasses, you will be able to tell. Now, just for those of you who want to know what the plate was, there you go. It's a standard Victorian meat platter. So now we're going to look at painting. So this is a 1950s hand-painted vase. It's very simply painted, a simple pattern, so very easy for you to look at. So we start here. First of all, what you're looking for is to actually see brush strokes. When they're coming down with the brush, you can actually see where it leaves ridges where the brush was. Now, you don't always get brush strokes, depending on how fine the painting is. I've used this example because it's a good example to show you brush strokes. Look for the color merge and overlap. So in this example, where colors have run over each other, they've created a new color. And you'll find that on a lot of things where when they're doing the edging, the colors merge slightly, and under an eyeglass, you'll see, even on the finest of paintings, you could see a merge in color and possibly a change of color. So again, sticking with the same vase, if you look where the arrow's pointing there at the painting where they're overlapping each other, you can clearly see the build-up of the different layers. Now, if that was a print, it would all be one level, one layer. So when you're looking at painting, if it's overlapping painting, you will actually see different thicknesses on the painting. So just under an eyeglass. Now, the under an eyeglass, the painting is always going to be slightly blurry because you've got to look through the glaze with the eyeglass, and you'll always pick up some of the grain of the porcelain or pottery body. But that is clearly different if you look on the right-hand side to the dots you find on prints. Now, let's assume you're looking at anything with figural or landscape painting, things like this. Now, first of all, you want to look for, when they start a line, you should have almost a pool. This is known as heaped and piling. So if you look here, you'll see little dark areas where when they start a line, you'll have a little pool of paint and then they'll go off. And when they finish, you may have a little pool. Or if they've overlapped quite a few times, you'll have dark spots. So that's known as heap and piling, and you're looking for that. Or, you know, if they start in a line, look for that slightly thicker dot at the beginning where they've put the brush down or the pencil down or whatever, you know, watercolor pencil, whatever it is. You're looking for a thicker bit if you can at the start. Look at the shading. Providing there's no dots when you look at the shading under an eyeglass, a very good indicator would be different shades, shading and depth in the color rather than just one solid block of color. It's always much harder to do on the prints if it's got some depth and different shades of colors. Providing you look under and you don't see the dots, that's a good indicator again. Okay, this next piece is a beautiful 19th century French porcelain jug, hand painted. Now, why I've got this example is look for painting that goes over the lines. So if you look here, the green, they've literally just squiggled the black outlines and then filled in, but they haven't filled in very well. There's quite a bit of over the line painting, and you'll find that on quite a bit of standard ceramics. And this is another good example. You can actually see the brush strokes on the puce painting here, just next to the green leaves. So a real nice example. So look for painting that goes over the lines. Now, sometimes, certainly in modern ceramics, for speed, they actually print a picture onto a clear sheet. And what they'll do, they'll apply the entire sheet onto a ceramic, and then they'll glaze over that. So if you go to the end of the picture and then look an inch or two past again, you may see a line under the glaze. Now, that line could be the clear sheet or clear sticker, whatever they use to apply the print, because they don't, you know, they want to apply a figure and a landscape separately. They'll have one big sheet with it all on, and they'll just roll it around, and you can look for the edge of the sheet. That's another indicator. There are probably loads and loads more, but there's just a few absolutely great little pointers that will help you identify painting from prints. Some of them are a little harder when you come on to paintings on paper, things like that, and you'll have engravings and things. That's a different video altogether. But for ceramics, porcelain and pottery, you know, it's pretty standard. It's either a print with dots and things and overlaps, or it's a painting. I hope that helps. It's just the basics, but I hope it gives you a little idea. But get yourself one of the eye loops. They're literally £3 or £4, and they are worth their weight in gold. Thanks for watching, guys. And I say, hope it helps. Bye for now.